Owen, and we are good to go. Hey guys, how you going? So down Breakout Sport. I am really excited for this one. We are into the second games of the group stage. We've seen everybody play once, and now we get to see them play again. And this game here is extremely important. It is the most important game of Group A, as Mexico will be playing host to South Korea. They both obviously played. South Africa played Mexico, and it was a nice little easy 2-0 victory for the Mexicans. However, I didn't think they were exceptional until we saw that red card for Yaya Sitore from South Africa. They were at 1-0 through a beautiful strike from Quintonez from just outside the box. I loved watching it on the ref cam. And then there was that red card in the 50th minute before Raul Jimenez scored that great goal into the back of the net off of a brilliant pass from Alvarado, who I think is going to have a big game here today. I think the Mexicans, they do look pretty sweet. They do look pretty good. But today is going to be their biggest test because South Korea are the best team in their group outside of the Mexicans, who Mexico is the number one team in the group. With that being said, though, South Korea are not too far behind. They are a very strong team, and I expect them to compete very heavily today and maybe be able to even sneak a win or get a draw, which would really send shivers down the spine of both teams, especially with the fact that you've seen earlier on today, Czechia and South Africa did have a 1-1 draw, which keeps them within range. But the thing is that goal difference doesn't actually matter in this FIFA World Cup. It comes down to what happened in your game, right? So Mexico have the tiebreaker over South Africa, and Korea have the tiebreaker over Czechia. So that means that if Mexico and South Africa are together, Mexico will be above them, and the same thing goes with Korea, right? But obviously Korea will play South Africa in the final game, and Mexico will play Czechia. So a draw here would keep it relatively interesting, but that the first round matchups really do, really do make it. Sorry, the first game here today between Czechia and South Africa does make it still a little bit sneaky, and both those two teams still have a chance to qualify now. So that's what will make that last game very important, because basically if you get in third, there's a good chance of you going through, a great chance. It will come down to goal difference for if you go through as the best third place qualifiers and whatnot. But if you get in as third, you basically need 4 points to confirm that. 3 points probably gets you in with a good enough points differential, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And then with South Korea, they had a really interesting game actually against Czechia, where they were simply the better team across the game. They just simply were better for the most part, but they did get done over, and it was 1-0 to Czechia at one stage. Ladislav Krejci did score in the 59th minute. We were like, wow, South Korea have had all the shots, they've had all the shots on target, they've had all the possession, but they've just gotten done over by the counter here, and Czechia took the lead 1-0. But they did not say no. They did not die, and we saw Hwang In-beom have a fantastic game from there on out, scored a goal in the 67th minute, and then provided the assist for Oh Hyung-gul in the 80th minute to win that game 2-1. Very important win there, because if they had have drawn it, well, then this would have been... Well, whoever wins this game here is actually guaranteed first position in this group. They are 100% guaranteed first. Whoever loses this is not guaranteed would not be guaranteed for second quite just yet. But with that being said, whoever wins this one tonight between Mexico and Korea will be guaranteed in first position. Now, let's get into the two team lineups here for today's game. Obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. We have a massive day tomorrow. I mean, absolutely massive. Australia will be taking on USA. You're going to want to be here for that. It is going to be nutso here on the channel. We'll also have Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, Haiti, and Turkey versus Paraguay. I'm actually going to stream all 4 of those games. Then we've got 3 NRL games, and then we move into another big day of Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Ivory Coast. I'm not, unfortunately, able to stream Tunisia versus Japan due to the fact that I will be streaming the Rugby League for the New Zealand Warriors at the time. But it is going to be a hectic weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. So if you love your football action, definitely hit that subscribe button. But let's get into it. So this game here is at Guadalajara Stadium. The Mexican team, 4-1-2-3. Their keeper is Raul Rangel. Their backline is Jorge Sanchez, Edson Alvarez, who is the captain, Johan Vasquez, and Jesus Gallardo. They are missing one player, and that is Cesar Montes, and that is because, unfortunately, he got a red card in the 92nd minute of that game against South Africa. Regardless of what you think of it, the fact of the matter is that it did happen. So he got a red card. That's why he's not here today. You go to the midfield, which is Eric Lira, Louis Romo, and Brian Gutierrez, with the attack being the ever-present Raul Jimenez, Julian Quinones, and Roberto Alvarado. It's a very, very good front three there. You've got the substitutions: Carlos Acevedo, Guillermo Ochoa, Mr. World Cup himself, Israel Reyes, Mateo Chavez, Alvaro Fidalgo, Orbelin Pineda, Obed Vargas, Gilberto Mora, Luis Chavez, Alexis Vega, Santiago Jimenez, Armando Gonzalez, Cesar Huerta, and Guillermo Martinez, with Javier Aguirre Onaindia as the manager. This Mexican team really does have the strike power, and defensively they were pretty damn well solid against South Africa. I didn't think South Africa were great at all in that game, unfortunately. They had a decent, actually, performance against Czechia today, where they were probably the better team against Czechia and probably deserved maybe a win, but didn't get it. But South Africa were really poor. So I really am interested to see how this defense goes today against a more potent Korean attack that wasn't spectacular. They actually, I shouldn't even say too potent, because they did miss a great deal of opportunities against Czechia. Like, they were pumping them in the first half. They had shot after shot after shot. Heung-min Son just could not put the ball into the back of the net. So will Mexico be able to prevent what could potentially be an onslaught there on the attack, where they just are just going to keep on shooting, and South Korea do love a free-flow and energetic game style that could cause a few problems here for the Mexicans. So I'm looking forward to seeing how their defense holds out today, but I don't have any question marks in regards to this attack for the Mexicans. Raul Jimenez, Quinones, and Roberto Alvarado is a really, really nice three up front there that will be very dangerous for the South Koreans. Now, Korea on the other side, they've got a 3-4-3. So Sung-Yul Kim is the goalkeeper, with the backline being Hanbyum Lee, Min Jae Kim, Moon-Hwan Kim, and Youngwoo Sol. The midfield is Gi-hyuk Lee, In-byum Hwang, who was fantastic in that first game, Sung-kyo Paik, Jae-sung Lee, and Kangin Lee, with the main man up front, Heung-min Son, who is the captain. He is just the talisman of what is Asian football, really. The way that he plays across Tottenham, now he's at the LAFC. He has been a legend of the game, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do today. However, in the first game, he unfortunately just did not really kick forward. He missed a lot of opportunities, he missed a lot of shots, and he needs to be a lot more clinical in front of the goal today. Substitutions-wise, Bum Kyun Song and Hyo-woo Jo are the backup goalkeepers, with Taeyeon Kim, Tae-suk Lee, Wije Cho, Jin-seob Park, Jens Kastrop, Hee-chan Hwang, Junho Bae, Hyun-jun Yang, Jin-yu Kim, Ji-sung Yeom, Dong-yong Lee, Gui-song Cho, and Hyung-yu Oh, with Myung Bo Hong as the manager and coach there. So like I said, this team will attack. They do have the attack in them. They're coming off that game against Czechia where they won 2-1, came through in the end. It was really dicey. They had that 1-0 win against El Salvador. They beat Trinidad and Tobago 5-0 in a friendly. They also lost to Austria 1-0, which isn't a great result there, and did lose to the Ivory Coast 4-0. So the thing is that Czechia are quite low in regards to the rankings. Like, when we go and have a look at Czechia on the world rankings, I think they're in the 40 range, aren't they? I'm pretty certain they're around the 40s. Yeah, 44. They actually dropped off 4 spots because of their draw with South Africa. So they were in 41. So I was pretty much spot on there in regards to where I thought they were. Czechia are down there in 44th, right? Ivory Coast, they've punched themselves up into 31st, which is the team they lost 4-0 to. Mexico, who they play here today, are up in 13th position. Croatia actually dropped off quite a few points because of that 4-2 loss to England. So they went down to 14th position. But yeah, you know, that's not a fantastic result there. And then you go to the Austria game, and Austria are just situated inside the top 30, I think. Where are they? No, they're in 21st. So they're quite high up there. They're just above the likes of Australia, Korea themselves, Denmark. So they lost a close game to a pretty similar position there because they're right next to each other when it comes to the rankings there, Austria and South Korea. They beat Ghana 1-0. Bolivia 2-0, also Paraguay 2-0, but lost to Brazil 5-0. But they had a friendly against them late last year in September, South Korea versus Mexico, where it did end up being 2-2 on the scoreline there. So that one was extremely close, went down to the wire. That was in Mexico as well. Actually, what stadium was this at? It was in, it doesn't have the stadium here. Forget that. We actually saw a 94th minute equalizer from Mexico, which was Santiago Jimenez. So Raul Jimenez opened the score sheet for Mexico in the 22nd minute. And then in the second half, Heung-min Son and Hyo-Jung both scored goals in the 65th and 75th before Santiago Jimenez equalised in the 94th. So that means this game's probably going to be quite exciting. That means this game's probably going to go down to the wire, because both these teams, they do love a bit of attack. That game shows there they love the attack. 2-2 is definitely more on the attacking side. And yeah, look, it's going to be a good one. So obviously, guys, let's get into the chat. Let's see what you are saying. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Hopefully, we get what we expect and fire up for some World Cup action. Brent Westing says, might be just me, but seeing Qatar get battered satisfied me a bit too much. Supposed back-to-back Asian champions frauds. Yeah, no, they got pieced apart, man. They absolutely got pieced apart. That red card was obviously brutal for them. They were never able to handle themselves after that red card. I think it was still 2-0 by the time the red card came in. And then Jonathan David had a fantastic game there for Canada, scoring a hat-trick. And then they just absolutely put them away. I think that was relatively expected. It's really disappointing from Switzerland's point of view, because Switzerland obviously drew 1-1 in the 95th minute there to Qatar. I think we all know that Qatar are not a spectacular team. They're not this big-time team. So, yeah, I'm not too sure why they can do so well in Asia. But when it comes to the world, yeah, they really do struggle on the big stage. So that was it was a big win there for the Canadians. They needed that one, and obviously Switzerland, they got a 4-1 win over Bosnia today, which is massive for their standpoint, because they had a disappointing 1-1 draw with Qatar. That group just doesn't really excite me a great deal. Like, I think that group is relatively, underwhelming in a lot of ways, and just doesn't get me overall going. It just doesn't really get me overall going, that group. But we'll probably see, based off of those results, we're probably going to see the likes of Canada go through. And look, I don't know if Switzerland go through, to be fair. Well, they'll go through because they've got 4 points now at the very minimum. That's right. They'll play Canada. So it'll come to, because Canada had a draw with Bosnia 1-1. And that's why it's so weird. Like, Canada drew with Bosnia 1-1. And yet Switzerland drew with Qatar 1-1. And then you go and look at this, and Canada beat Qatar 6-0, and Switzerland beat Bosnia 4-1. So I don't really know what's happening in that group. It's a little bit all over the shop. That game between Canada and Switzerland next week is going to be very, very important to see who goes through in first. Whoever wins it will go through in first, yeah. Actually, goal difference-wise, 1 second. I actually wonder who... Because if it's a draw, the draw makes that interesting. The draw brings everyone kind of back into... Oh, not really, actually. Goal difference is +6 for Canada, of course, and then Switzerland with +3. So a draw would see Canada go through as number 1 in their Group B. And it'll be interesting to see who they get to play. But I feel like, yeah, if Bosnia... Because it'll be Bosnia versus Qatar. If Bosnia get a win there, they probably should be going through as one of the best third-place teams. And this is why, yeah, essentially, if you get 4 points in your group, you're going to be going through as at least as third, at the very least. I don't know if Czechia and South Africa, there's going to be a team that gets 4 as well, unless it's a draw. The draw between Czechia and South Africa. Oh no, sorry, it'll be that's right, because Czechia South Africa was a draw here today. So I don't think either one of those two teams in Czechia or South Africa are going to be getting through. I think that they're already essentially eliminated, because you're going to have Mexico. Yeah, you're going to have Mexico take on Czechia and Korea Republic take on South Africa. So those two teams, we've already seen that. And 3 and 4, Czechia and South Africa are pretty much done from here, you would imagine. Group B is completely open still. Group C with Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, Haiti, we've still got to see another game and whatnot. Once we just need to get these second games underway, and then once we get through these second games, we'll have a much better picture for what's going on overall. But the game is about to get started here, guys. The game is about to get started. Give me some score predictions. Killer Bean says, what's going on? Has the game started? The game has not started yet. We are still just waiting for it. It starts basically right now. They're just going through the team lineups. We've had the national anthems, and Javier Aguirre is pretty confident that his Mexican team should be getting through here. Jack Attack says hello. Get around your Jack. But no, tomorrow morning is a really, really big one. America versus USA. We've been waiting for this one for months and months now, really. Americans have been super disrespectful to the Australians, and for a long time now, and now they're trying to claim it's like a one-sided beef. It's like, well, no, this is just a reaction from Australia. The Americans just keep on pushing and pressing for a response, and then they get a response, and then it's like, oh, we're the victims. You guys just hate us for no reason. No, that is not the case. So tomorrow's going to be a tough game. It's going to go hopefully down to the wire, and Australia can push forward and get a win. But yeah, we have a massive weekend of some huge games coming up. That's for sure. I'm actually really looking forward to the Netherlands versus Sweden game, because Sweden played some exciting football, but it was against Tunisia. So you're not really too excited about necessarily a 4-5-1 victory against Tunisia. But Sweden is still playing a little bit more exciting football, and the Netherlands obviously are looking to get their first win after a draw with Japan. Brendan says, agreed. I'm ready to chalk off Czech and South Africa. Can't see either of them getting more than a point out of Mexico or Korea in the third group stage round. Yeah, well, this game is... Whoever wins this game, it benefits the other game significantly, because they are guaranteed through, and they're actually guaranteed first. So whoever wins this game is locked in for first in this group, because the other team that they play next week can't catch them. So if Korea win this, they have the tiebreaker over Mexico. It means they go first. Or if Mexico win this, they have the tiebreaker. They go first. No one can catch them. So this is a hugely important game. And then with that being said, whoever was to win this one, then it would come down to the fact of next week, whether they're going to play their full strength roster, which I don't know if they would. They'd probably give a couple of chances elsewhere, to be completely honest with you. But then if this game is a draw, then you're definitely saying no to Czech and South Africa, because they're both gone. There's no way they beat South Korea and Mexico when they're playing for, a spot essentially. But the game has kicked off here, guys. So hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The game has kicked off. We are underway, and it will be the South Koreans who start off with the ball here. And they play it around the back. It's going to be... I think that ultimately we're going to see more possession. We're probably going to see more possession for a team... Oh, who would I say would have more possession here? I think it probably is going to be South Korea, I think South Korea probably will have the more of the possession. And they're going to put this ball down to the left-hand wing, and they've got a good opportunity here. If they can whip this bad boy back inside, they have got a good chance. So I'm just getting something sorted out here on my phone. I don't care if we lose 4-0 to Paraguay. I want to beat the Yanks tomorrow. Well, it doesn't matter how much if we lost to Paraguay. If we beat America tomorrow, we would go through as first, because we hold the tiebreaker over the US. We would have 6 points. Well, actually, no. Sorry, we would need to... No, as long as Paraguay don't beat Turkey. So if we beat America tomorrow and Turkey and Paraguay fail to beat Turkey, then we're first place in the group, regardless. Paraguay would be the only team that can chase down on Australia if we were to win. So it would come down to us winning and them not getting a result, or them not getting a win. And I just don't think that Turkey will go and lose tomorrow. Surely not. Not after all the slap up they've been getting in the media and the overhyped and overratedness that people have been calling them. I just don't think that Turkey will be losing to Paraguay tomorrow. So yeah, I feel like it's as long as we can if we get a win, we're first. If we get a draw, well, no matter what, we're going through in third, but there is still a slight chance. If we go draw and Turkey got a win, then that means that we would be wanting Turkey to win next week against the USA, and then obviously us to beat Paraguay, and then we would still go through top of the group. And then we would still go through it. Is that right? I think so. I think that's right. Because we hold the tiebreaker over Turkey. And now they'll kick this ball away here, Mexico. Again, South Korea are the ones who've started off with most of the ball here, though. And then that's going to be headed down. And now Mexico can try and break weight on this left-hand side, this left wing. They've got the ball here now, South Korea. No, it's a free kick. It's a free kick to Mexico. Got to watch Raul Jimenez today. He could be on for a big one. Oh, you know what I'm spewing about? I forgot to change my fantasy team. So I've still got Montez for no reason. Not in my starting lineup, but I've still got Montez for absolutely no reason. as my as my in my team. I didn't get to change anybody, so I've got 3 transfers for the next round at the very least. But spewing, I was a little bit too late. I went to sleep early last night and I didn't change around my fantasy team. But with that being said, I do feel like my team was actually more well designed for this round than the last round, to be fair. I think it's more well designed for this round than last round, so I'm pretty happy with it. Like, at the end of the day, I will have there's a yellow card here for South Korea early doors. Gee whiz, what is it with these Mexican games? There's always cards galore, isn't there? Even though this is against Mexico, this is a South Korean player who's going to get yellow carded here. Kangin Lee. Kangin Lee with the yellow card. Yeah, like I've got Martinez versus Jordan. I'm pretty happy with that there for Argentina. I've also got Hakimi versus Haiti. They shouldn't be conceding. Cucurella versus Uruguay. They could definitely concede their Spain. But with that being said, Spain are going to have to replay out of their skins because they're in a bit of a risky spot right now. Gabriel against Scotland. I'm pretty happy with that. Musiala versus Ecuador. Not too happy with that. I might even put in Kamada against Sweden. Kamada against Sweden probably makes a little bit more sense in mind. Mexico now with the ball in the right wing. And now they'll put this ball back inside through the middle. Can they play? That's going to be offside. That's going to go out for a goal kick. Yeah, well done, South Korea. They'll go out for a goal kick. Yeah, I think I might actually put Kamada in for Musiala because... Yeah, I probably will because Musiala's going up against Ecuador. They're usually a very good defensive side, whilst Kamada's going up against Sweden. But then again, he was on the bench, so I hope he gets a start. Bruno Fernandes versus Colombia. Yeah, against Uzbekistan. I like that. I do. Brendan Westling says, even then, I can see Popper selecting a more experienced starting 11 than against Turkey tomorrow. Still going to be a hostile environment. Yeah, there'll be definitely a lot more experience. Americans just immediately assume we're going to play the same style and same way that we played against the Turkish team. Oh, here we go. South Korea can break away here. No, Mexico will get this ball back around the halfway point. Listen to that atmosphere, though. Mexico is going to be such a difficult team to beat in Mexico. Here in Mexico, they are going to be so damn well difficult to beat, man. Jesus Gallardo, he puts this ball in the box. Good ball, but it will be headed away here from South Korea. Really good ball there, however. And now they're going to punch this ball away here. Korea under some early defensive pressure in this first 6 minutes. That atmosphere is absolutely nuts. But no, Australia are not going to play with the same game style. We knew that Turkey were a better attacking side. We knew we had to sit behind the ball. We don't actually need to sit behind the ball necessarily tomorrow against the US. They are not a great defensive side. They're definitely more susceptible on the defense. Good ball in here for Mexico inside the box, but then gotten away by South Korea. But still, this pressure is gigantic, and that's a big shot, but it will be off target, and it will be saved by the keeper there. 7 minutes in, Mexico putting some pressure on. Song Yu comes across. Both teams are through. This game determines who comes first if there's a winner, right? Well, both teams aren't necessarily through. Like, I believe that they're through. I would say that they're through, but technically speaking, neither one of them are through because they're both on 3. If this was a draw, this would go to 4. But then what would be very, very interesting, actually, is if this was a draw and then Czechia hold on one second here. Chance here for Mexico and it will be saved. What would be really interesting, and I don't know how this would work, it would be the first tiebreaker. Like, South Africa just not going through. But if this was a draw, then if Czechia beats Mexico and South Africa beat Korea, which is not happening, well then they'd all be on 4 points. So then it would come down to, I think, goal difference. And it would come down to those games next week. So that would be really interesting. So no, these teams aren't through quite just yet. If there is a winner in this game, then that team's guaranteed, but the other team definitely won't be. If they lose, they might still be out because they'll only be on 3 points. But both teams should be winning quite easily next week. All right, so Mexico have this ball around the goalkeeper. I could have easily seen this being a draw. Easily. I'm going to predict I'm going to predict a draw. I'm going to go a 2-2 draw, just like they played last year. It was a 2-2 draw. I think there should be goals in it. There should be goals in this game. And now Min Jae Lee puts it out to the right wing. 9 minutes in here. Definitely been all Mexico so far. Like, Korea have probably had a slightly bit more of the possession, but the attack and pressure has definitely come from the Mexicans so far. Another push is back. I wonder if there's like a single South Korean here this game. It would just be packed out with Mexicans. I wonder genuinely how many South Koreans would be here in attendance right now. I would not expect there to be many. And they whip this ball down into the wing. Great ball here. Great ball. And the pace is there. But that is going to be very good shoulder to shoulder there from the Mexican defense. And they're going to get a goal kick from it. That is brilliant stuff there defensively. He has to be way stronger there. He has to be way stronger there, Lee Kang-in. But that was Jesus Gallardo. Very good defensively. Wait a second, that was So Young Woo. Jeez, he was well up just then. Now Mexico, they can hit back. They've got this attack and pressure again. Jeez, surely they're going to score soon. With all this attack and pressure back inside. But then South Korea will get this ball away. 10 minutes gone in the first half, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new. South Korea with the ball, playing it around the back. And now they'll put it out to the right back. Is better defense. Is he onside? Is he onside? That's going to go back into the goal. Jeez, I think he was surely offside there. Heung-min Son might have been just onside, actually. They're saying that he might have been because the flag didn't come up. But the ball was just a little bit too heavily touched there and will go away. Tell you what, I'm not really looking forward to the NRL game tonight. Especially with all this World Cup action. Knights vs Dragons. This doesn't really kick you in, does it? Just it really doesn't really kick you in. Oh yeah, I'm also spewing that I wasn't able to bring in Erling Haaland to my team. So I got Kane, Oyarzabal, and Eden Kunda. I really, really, really need Eden Kunda to have a big time match. I want to deactivate my maximum captain. I don't want that. I want to deactivate it because I don't want Oyarzabal as my maximum captain, but I have clicked it. That's not what I want though. I can't even select a VC. Maybe I'll be able to select after this game finishes. Maybe it's all locked during the games. I don't know. South Korea down the left wing. And that should be a free kick. No, it won't be a free kick. Referee said it's okay. I definitely think that should have been a free kick, South Korea. It's just spicy right now for Mexico. They're just kind of... The pressure they're putting on and off, now it's a free kick to Mexico. The pressure they're putting on and off the ball right now is really impressive. It is really, really impressive right now. They are just all over South Korea, and South Korea is trying to hit on the counter, but South Korea, who I expected probably should have had more of the possession, just haven't had more of the possession so far. Estadio Guadalajara. By the way, there is a really, really good opportunity that Australia could be getting the 2038 World Cup. I was reading into it before. So basically, because continents can't have multiple World Cups within like a three cycle period or 2 cycle period. So that means that North America is out. I'm pretty certain South America is out because in the next World Cup, you have Turkey. No, you don't have Turkey. You have Morocco, Portugal, and Spain hosting the World Cup. But the first 3 games are in Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay as a throwback to the first ever World Cup, which means that they're now out of the running because they're technically hosting part of the World Cup. So that means that, obviously, here we go, South Korea. South Korea can break through. That's a good tackle there from Mexico and prevent everything, and now it'll come away from Mexico. That is really good defense there. But then, yeah, so you've got Africa that is now out because Morocco is involved. Europe that is out. because Spain and Portugal will be involved. Technically, North America could do it again, but I just don't think they would give it to North America again back here in the USA, Canada, and Mexico kind of deal. I think they would probably look to be going towards, and Asia can't have it because the next World Cup the 2034 World Cup has Saudi Arabia. So that means Asia is out, which technically means Australia is out. But because Oceania has never had one before, we can partner with New Zealand, who is Oceania. And then we will be able to host the World Cup through a partnership with New Zealand. Alvarado with the ball here in the midfield. Now Mexico should look to push this down this left wing. It's a very evenly matched game right now. It is. Very evenly matched. 14 minutes gone. We haven't really seen a brilliant chance just yet. Get around your tatted. Good evening. Decent enough win against Croatia. Obviously the toughest team of the group. 4 goals you're happy with, but 2 goals against I don't think you'd be too happy with. But no, there's a good chance that it's Australia and New Zealand hosting the World Cup in 2038, which is really exciting. 12 years away from now. Obviously, we have the Olympics in Brisbane. The Olympics in Brisbane in 2032. Usually you see World Cups come to countries within a relative area to when that happens. Like we saw at Brazil when they got the Olympics, I think in 2016, the World Cup in 2014. Actually, where is the next Olympics? Oh, that's a good tackle there from South Korea. If Oz hosts, then I'm coming for it. I'm pretty certain 2038, because again, they've already confirmed. We were trying for 2034, but FIFA, they rushed the process to effectively nullify Australia's bid and then just gave it to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia gets in 2034. And in 2030, it's Morocco. Oh, here we go. South Korea in the box. Over the top. On target. Cleared off the line from the Mexican defense. That's unbelievable. Cleared. That was good if he does not get to that. That is cleared off of the line there from the Mexican defense. Heung-min Son, I can't believe he hasn't scored. That was a really good lift over the top of the keeper. It was a great ball into... Oh, he was offside. He would have been offside. So if it had gone in, it would have been called back. That is unbelievable defense there from Mexico, though, to get back and save the keeper. Well done, Alvarez. Jeez, flag comes up and he was offside. But wow, that was the best opportunity of the game so far from either one of these teams, despite all the attack and pressure from Mexico. That was very clearly the best opportunity so far. South Korea steals this ball in the midfield. Here we go. Look at the speed. They've got the speed in this game. And that's a free kick. How on earth is that not a free kick? He has gone down hard just there. That's crazy they haven't called that as a free kick. Especially considering we already saw that yellow card early doors. And now back here for Mexico. He's slowly getting back to his feet. That was... I tell you what, South Korea haven't received a couple of free kicks they probably should have been receiving in this game so far. There's probably been a couple of them. And here we go. Mexico down this right wing. No, South Korea going to be able to get it. And now it's a corner. Corner coming up for Mexico. Corner coming up for Mexico. Sanchez has been strong so far. He's offside there. Yeah, that 100% is offside. Richard says, bro, you react to everything. Good on you. Yeah, I did my best, mate. You know, we love our sport. We love our football. It's 18 a.m. in the morning here for us in Vietnam. I'll be in Kazakhstan this time next month, and I'm going to maybe I might even do a vlog. I might actually go to some domestic Kazakhstani games just for a bit of fun and see what that's like. You know, I might spice up the content, and rather than only doing streams, like I could easily go to the sporting matches in places around the world. You know, so, and I think that'd be really intriguing. People would, not many, oh, here we go. It's a free kick to Mexico. Not many people would know anything about Kazakhstani football. I wouldn't know anything about it, you know, and that goes for all different countries and all different sports. So I think that's definitely something that I'd be interested in doing, and I probably will think about doing it. Who you got? I got a 2-2 draw here. Mexico are the ones with the pressure, but I do think South Korea can break their hearts. It's a very tough game. This is the important game of this group. I've gone a 2-2 draw, though, just on the basis that both teams can score. And they're both of a similar level. Mexico should be the better team, rankings-wise, but they're both of a similar level. And they had a 2-2 draw late last year. But they are both of a similar enough level where it's not like you should say Mexico are the clear favourites here. Because I would say overall South Korea probably were better against Czechia than Mexico against South Africa. Get around your Ben. But, you know, at the very least, Mexico didn't give up a goal to South Africa. But I think overall the way the game played out, Mexico will get this ball in the midfield. Oz vs USA game is tomorrow, my time, 2 a.m. Which is 6 hours and 20 minutes before now, 5 a.m. in Australia. It's the first game tomorrow is what I should say. The first game for tomorrow's slate will be live, and I can tell you what, this chat will be pumping. We'll all be pumping. It'll be crazy. I wish that game was on at a better time slot for Australia, though. 5 a.m. is still super early and still like pure football fanism. If you had have been able to put that game on at the same time, here we go, whips in the box, here's a good chance. Oh, that's a great save by the keeper. That is a great, great save here by the keeper. Jeez, I thought that was going into the back of the net. That was a great whip, and I think maybe from Alvarado. There. But wowee. Yeah, it's a great little pass in, and unfortunately just goes straight to the keeper there from the Mexicans. I'll be here back in Oz all the way. Yeah, no, it's going to be big. I just hate that it's not the same time as like Turkey. Turkey game was at 11 a.m., which was 2 p.m. in Australia. The Paraguay game, I think, is also at a similar time, about 2 p.m. or so. But I'm telling you, like, there's going to be a lot. Obviously, we had hundreds of people for that Australia versus Turkey game. The true Australian fans will be up watching that one and firing up for it. And then, obviously, the casuals and the new fans of football and whatnot, they'll get the score a little bit later, and hopefully they'll all turn up for Paraguay. You know, hopefully they'll all turn up and watch that game because that'll be on at a great time. Actually, what time will that Paraguay game be on? Mexico let the ball dribble over the sideline. 20 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 20 minutes gone. It is still 0-0. I just want to go and have a look at what time that Paraguay game will be on. Why is this not working? Okay, we'll try and refresh it. I'm pretty certain it's on at a perfect time slot. I'm pretty certain. Okay, yeah, let's move this down here. So, Australia versus Paraguay will be on at 9 a.m. my times. That's midday. Perfect time slot. Perfect. What day is it, though, actually? On Friday, though. Yeah, on Friday, midday. Damn it, people are working. Tell you what, the Kiwis get all the good time slots in this tournament. Saturday at 10 a.m. That'll be a dead set. Like, that's perfect time slot for them. That's like 3 p.m. kind of deal. I want nothing more than for us to batter them. It'd be nice. It would be nice, Tudded. It would be very, very nice. They need a little bit of a humbling. Americans keep saying Australia needs to be humbled. It's like, bro, we know what we are. We're just very excited that we got a surprise underdog victory. Not even a surprise, but like an underdog victory against Turkey. Yeah, we know what we are. We don't need to be humbled. We don't think we're going to win this World Cup. Like, we may be going to win this World Cup and undefeated. We may be doing that 100%. However, like, we don't actually genuinely believe we're going to win the World Cup. Whilst Americans, you are delusional enough to think that. It's funny, Zach from Real Fan Sports told me the other day that someone went into his chat, buddy, crying about me talking smack about the US. Well, whoever that is, one, you're a cuck, but also two, like, he understands. It's all about football. I want us to play them on the 4th of July. Would be amazing. 4th of July. Is there... Oh, there's games on 4th of July. Yeah, there would be. What games are they? Are they quarterfinals? It's a little bit... No. 4th of July. Would that be the round of 32? And there'll be a hydration break. Oh, my gosh. We all love a hydration break, don't we? We all love a hydration break. My goodness me. The English have been booing the hydration break throughout this tournament. It's so funny. The English, every time the hydration break comes up, they just decide to heavily boo. It's too good. I love the English, man. That's the thing. Like, I have a rivalry with Australians. Typically dislike England sporting wise because of all our rivalries. And if we played England, I'd hate yous. But it's very difficult for me in football to have the same kind of distaste for England as I do in cricket and also, say, rugby, because I watched the Premier League and I have been a fan of the Premier League since I was a young lad. So a lot of our guys do play for England, right? So it's very difficult for me to have that same dislike as I do in cricket, because like I couldn't give a shit about your cricket league and I couldn't really give a shit about your domestic rugby union league as well. So I just don't really have that same distaste for the English fans and for the English team because of the fact that it's very difficult to when you support a team in that league. Mexico looking great so far. Koreans are keeping the pressure up as well. It's a good game. It's a good game for sure. And also, don't think that this game's looking like there's no goals coming through it, because we saw in the game again with Switzerland taking on Bosnia, there was not a goal scored in that game until the 74th minute. And as you can see here, the score finished 4-1. Finished 4-1. There was not a single goal scored until into the 70 minute, healthily into the 70 minutes. Usually for every World Cup game, I'm just happy we're there. Tomorrow, though, I would love to humble the cocky US. Oh, my goodness me. It'd be absolutely brilliant. It'd be absolutely brilliant. The English would be polluting all over the world. I literally said I don't really have a problem with the English here. I really don't. The English media, I despise the English media. I have always despised the English media, and I will forever despise the English media, because they set your population up for disappointment because they know that's where the clicks are. They know that's where the clicks are. So if they can force you to feel more upset, so you go into it thinking, okay, well, we're going to win this because the media says we've got the best league. The media says we've got the best players. The media says we've got the best team. Well, the media's doing that because then you're heightened, you're emotional, you're bang, bang, bang with the team itself and your nation, and you're proud yourself. But then you've got those expectations from the outside that you believe are the outside. They're showing you things to suggest that everybody's saying it when they're not. And then those heightened emotions are so high on all different factors that when you get knocked out, the crash is so severe and the plummet is so severe that the English media are like, here's where our clicks are going to come, and they're going to fuck you. They're going to just slap you right there. They come right in underneath. They deliver. They build you up to be here so that they can undercut you here. That's the English media, and that's why I will always hate the English media. It happens in football all the time. For example, hooliganism is a great example. They really build it up and build it up and build it up to shit on. Hooliganism is probably not the great example here. What was I thinking? Well, it used to be promoted quite heavily in the 80s and the 90s. And the reason why they would show it in the media and promote certain individuals and promote certain fan bases is because it would get people passionate about it, even though it was wrong, which would ultimately encourage younger lads to get behind the hooliganism. Taz says, our football fans are so funny. We know we are one of the most hated nations here and we love it. The thing is, like I just said, I don't hate England in football. I hate England in cricket, and I hate England rugby union, but I don't hate England in football. Gareth says, yeah, not going to be a crash this time because it's coming home. Well, I think you're going to need to shore up that defense compared to what we saw. But again, I would like to see you guys get up for it. I think the vibes in England would be massive, and at least in England we wouldn't see, countries rioting the streets. Well, I don't think 10 years ago you would have seen England, 27 minutes gone now, I don't think you would have seen the population of England 10 years ago. I don't think they would have been pillaging and rioting in the streets for a successful win like you see from France and like you see from certain and you've seen it from New York with the Knicks winning. I don't think that England would be like that typically. I don't know anymore. I know back before. I don't think it would have been that crazy. I wouldn't speak too soon. Me, at least I feel the same way about England. As in, you dislike them outside of football, but in football, you kind of okay with them. But yeah, the English fans definitely. There's a reason why you dislike. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason. Got it if I'm stuck in New Zealand if we win. Well, what if the Kiwis win, mate? Garrett, come on. Kiwis might be up. Kiwis are up, mate. You listen to the Kiwis who actually like football and they're thinking they win it. I am begging Australia comes second and New Zealand comes second. That would be just ultimate. If Australia comes second, New Zealand comes second, it's a round of 32 Australia versus New Zealand knockout. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness me. It's not happening because New Zealand aren't getting second, but gee whiz. Wouldn't that be something? And then that'll be cleared away. Turned over here. South Korea now with the ball. Can they put on a little bit of attack? England will be on fire if we win. Good chance in the box. Pushed down, but it will be, and it's going to be offside. I don't think so, mate. I don't think it would be as crazy as we see from other countries. Like, I think it would be crazy, but I don't think it would be as crazy as we see when Philadelphia won the NFL, or when France won the World Cup, or when Buenos Aires won the World Cup. England would get crazy, mate. I just don't think that... Australia would be nuts, though, to be fair. I don't know. Like, it would be busy. It would be flat out. I guess I'm just comparing it to the the serious crazy levels that we see from Philadelphia and New York, and when Paris Saint-Germain won the Champions League, because people who don't watch football use it as an excuse to riot and steal TVs. That's the problem with it. Richard says, yeah, fan of the English football team, especially some of the players. Harry Kane. Harry Kane's a fantastic player, man. Obviously, I love a bit of Nico O'Reilly. Over the years, we've had plenty of guys there. Good old Jackie Grealish. Not that he's there now. Quinones with the ball. Nice passing in from Mexico. They with the ball in. Good ball. Can't get the head on it there as Raul Jimenez. But he will get there quickly. Playing well in the Saudi League, Jimenez. You're probably right. There would be a lot of people who would burn England, to be fair. You probably are right. Not that they're necessarily English fans, though. They would use it as an excuse. That's the worst thing with sport. People use success as an excuse to go insane and steal shit and get violent. That's going to be a offside against Mexico. 30 minutes gone here, folks. 30 minutes gone. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Still 0-0. No goal scored just yet. Still 0 to damn well 0. By the way, only 37 subscribers away from 43k. I reckon we get there definitely tomorrow, but I think we could definitely get there today. No, probably tomorrow. We'll probably get there tomorrow. Especially with the Australia-USA game, yeah. 31 minutes gone. This is tight. This is tense. Whoever wins this will top the group, so it's important. He's way offside here. He's way offside. I don't even know why we're playing this out. It would have been a corner, but I don't even know why we're playing that out. It was so obviously offside from the outset. The entire time we knew that was coming back. I don't have any idea why they allowed that one to play out. Yeah, the Mexicans were just like, I'm not wasting any energy tracking back there. I'm not even bothering. I saw an old video of the French not waiting for the team to come out. It really did look crazy with all the people in the red smoke. Yeah, that's football. You should see. Like I tell you, if a Middle Eastern team won the World Cup ever, my gosh, bro. My gosh. I could only imagine, like, think about how crazy how crazy Fenerbahce and Galatasaray fans go for just a genuine domestic league game. I could not imagine if they went and actually won a World Cup, Turkey. It would be just disaster. It would be a disaster. Argentina have at least won it before. Brazil have at least won it before. Technically, England's already won it before too, back in 1966. But countries like that are so passionate for football that have also never won before, like your Morocco's, like your Turkey, and all the other Middle Eastern nations and whatnot. Like Australia would go pretty nuts. You see how Australians get behind the football. Only for the Socceroos. They don't care about domestic league. They don't care about football in general. They just care about the Socceroos. Some of the Eastern European countries would be feral too. Oh, imagine Bosnia, bro. Imagine Serbia or Bosnia. That would get feral. I don't think Greece would be as bad as them. Like, I think, yeah, Serbia, Bosnia. Can you imagine Albania? Oh, Albania would go crazy. Not an answerable question, Ben. The question is not able to be answered. Romania, yeah. Bulgaria. There's another one. Yeah, Albania, Bulgaria, buddy. Even the likes of Croatia. But then again, they're... No, probably not. Croatia would still go absolutely insane. They got very close the other year in 2018. They would go absolutely insane, but not to the levels we're talking about with those guys. 34 minutes gone here. There was at least a goal in the first half. Well, there wasn't a goal in that first half of South Korea versus Czechia. There was a goal early in that Mexico game versus South Africa, though. Oh, there was a ball over the top there that Jimenez could have played, but they didn't find it. Is Yemen a team? Yes. Extremely random, but yes. I'll get you where they're ranked. Actually, I shouldn't even say yes as a guarantee, because there's no guarantee that I've never watched a Yemeni game, but I'm sure there would be. There is 211 ranked nations. Yemen. Where are Yemen? Sri Lanka. We've actually been having a lot of Bangladeshis and Sri Lankans watching our streams recently, by the way, as in for football. Where's Yemen? They're going to be low. Oh, 145th, yeah. Yemen are 100. They've actually won 4 out of their last 5 games, though. Beat Brunei 2-0. Also beat Brunei 9-0. Bhutan 7-1. Lost to Comoros 4-4. Oh, with 4-2 on penalties, but drew 4-4. And beat Lebanon 2-0. Even Lebanon, if they went and won a bloody World Cup, my gosh. Deary me. You know, it'd be so interesting. How would countries like Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, how would those countries react to winning a World Cup? Because they're like heavily suppressed, aren't they? Like, they're heavily, like, very moderate with how they act in public. I believe I just saw a country actually just make it illegal to hit women today. And if you hit a woman inside that country, I think it was Uzbekistan. I think if you hit a woman in Uzbekistan, you get you get removed from the country, even if you're a citizen or something like that. I think that was the news I saw today, something about that. You get removed from the country with no ability to come back. Ash Klein says, who do you think is the best fan base? I've seen some crazy videos of the Dutch supporters of the World Cup. Dutch are pretty good. Argentinians are pretty good. Brazilians are pretty good. 1 second, left-hand side for South Korea. They're putting on a bit of an attack now. The game is a bit more on the grind compared to the heavy pressure we've seen from Mexico early doors. The Dutch are pretty full-on. Depends on what you rate, though. Like, it depends on if you rate the fierceness or if you rate the just general passion or if you rate the noise. I'd say fierceness-wise, there's a few other countries other than the Dutch. I'd say that overall aesthetic, you'd be definitely looking towards the Dutch. Yeah. Overall aesthetic-wise. Yeah, Ashclay, you did do better with this week. Well done, you mate. You still made a few tough, rough calls against Queensland, you dog, but you did have a better game at the very least. It's amazing that Queensland, with the hard done-by team, has still won that game by 20 bloody points. But that is what it is when you've got Ashley Klein as the referee. Yeah, South Koreans are getting some great possession at the moment. They're just holding that ball nicely. The crowd is booing and whistling, and that's music to the ears of the South Koreans because it means that you're frustrating the living shit out of the home supporters. And if you can take the home crowd out of it, we've got a long way to win here in Mexico and Guadalajara. Prayorve says, most fun, Dutch for sure. The little left-right chant they do. Yeah, that is such a good chant, isn't it? That is such a good chant. Oh, I love it, man. That chant is awesome. Most fun would definitely be the Dutch. I would say the most funny would be the English, because their chants are just hilarious, and they'll call you whatever they want. Or like when the Mexican wave's going around, then as soon as it gets to the England crowd, they just go, hey, just call them wankers or put the finger up and stuff. I'd say the English are the most funny. The Dutch will be the most fun. I'd say the loudest are probably maybe like a Brazil. I'd say probably Brazil, maybe. Klein, you're not allowed into Queensland, champion. You are not allowed into Queensland. I'd probably say the loudest is Brazil. Would anyone disagree with that? 38 minutes gone here. And South Korea restart play coming out from their own goalkeeper. Yeah, you can tell the Mexican crowd's getting a bit frustrated and they want urgency. The Aussies might have equaled us with their Trump chant. Yeah, that was... I did see that one, yeah. What was it again? Donald Trump is an offender. I can't remember the first part. But yeah, it was very funny. I don't get political, and we're not getting political here, but their chant was funny regardless. 39 minutes gone here. Aussie boys are on a bender. Donald Trump. It's too funny. South Korea down the left wing. But obviously, English and Australian banter is very similar. Very, very similar. But I'm pretty certain that Trump chant happened in Canada, by the way, because I'm sure that Americans would have had a bit of a problem with that. Some Americans would have had a problem with that if you were doing that in America. South Korea still have possession, by the way. This is just all South Korea as we speak. This would be so frustrating if you are a Mexican fan as we speak. They cannot for the life of them get the ball at the moment. It's not possible for them to get the ball as we speak. And it's going to go straight back to the goalkeeper, and now South Korea are going to slowly play it out from the back. This is just all Korea at the moment. I'm not repeating it here, but that Trump chant getting around while over there is perfection. It's very good, man. Hold on, I'm just going to get this on my phone sorted. Might even go make myself another coffee once this half finishes. Huang in bomb. That's a good ball. No, it's not. Goes over the sideline. Goes over the sideline. 40 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 40 minutes gone. And it is still nil point to nil point. No goal, baby. Benson's coconut coffee. Love a good coconut coffee. Had a bum moi this morning, but what's intriguing is the food I'm going to be eating at Kazakhstan. My dad said enjoy horse meat. Oh, here we go. Chance here. Chance in South Korea. What the hell was that? What in the planet Earth was that? That shot just now has just been seen arriving here in Vietnam. I don't know what that shot was. And that comes up from the number 22, which is Sol Young Woo. Horse meat? Yeah, they eat a lot of horse meat in Kazakhstan. What the hell was that shot? I don't know what he was doing. It was nowhere near the bar. Horse meat is fine. We all had it in Tesco for years. We don't have Tesco here in Oz. And here we go. South Korea. Heung-min Son. Can he break away? He hasn't really been a huge involvement today, Heung-min Son, so far. Needs to get involved in the game. At least in the first half against Czechia. Here we go. And that's to go over for a throw-in. He had a lot of involvement in the first half against Czechia, but just could not put the ball in the back of the net. Here, he's just not really been seen so far in this first half. So Mexico have had 3 attempts at goal for 1 on target. Korea have had 1 attempt at goal. No, it's 2 attempts at goal for none on target. Should be 2. That's wrong. I've definitely seen that one that just happened, plus a previous one. But Korea have not been able to actually get too many opportunities here, but they are just dominating the ball at the moment. Whips it in, gets it out to the left wing. Sol, going to be blocked away, and then he'll get it back underneath. Whip the ball in the box. I want to see some chances created. Neither team is really creating the chances. It's so tense at the moment. They can have some space here through the middle. Back into the middle. Push it. Oh, my gosh. They're frustrating me, let alone Mexico. Yeah, listen to the boos come from the Mexican fans. They are frustrating me, let alone their fans. I would be just fuming right now. I would be spewing right now. This is just excruciating to watch from South Korea. Like, it's good from South Korea, don't get me wrong. Like, they're holding the ball, and there's going to be some frustrated tackles and attempts soon from Mexico in lieu of this, but it doesn't make it any less annoying right now. It's a great tactic. And now they'll push this ball down through the middle. I think South Korea will just slaughter South Africa, though. And I think Mexico against Czechia, I think that's probably going to be like a 2-3-0. That's straight to the keeper. So after all that pressure, after all that possession, all the possession in the world, and they go and do that. All that possession in the world, and they go and do that. Ben says it'd be the worst feeling for South Korea to have had all the possessions and opportunities. There's not been any opportunities. They haven't had any opportunities, really. Just for Mexico to kick the goal in the end. Well, that's what happened against Czechia, but that's not how this game's played out at all. South Korea haven't been creating opportunities. They might create one now, though. They might create one now. Heung-min Son. Pingyang in. Oh, blocked in the box. They have had the better looks, though, but it's definitely not that they've created a whole bunch of opportunities. 44 minutes gone. And Jimenez can't get that ball. And it's going to come back to South Korea. And you watch, they're just going to slow play this one again, I'm sure. Yep, there you go. Back to the defensive line. Now let them wait. Let them be patient. That's what they're doing here. They just don't care. They don't care about your feelings. Good. Free kick to South Korea coming at the halfway point. They don't care. It's a good tactic right now. And that's a frustrating tackle. Yep, he's coming over to have a word with Javier Aguirre because he knows the Mexicans are getting frustrated. And that tackle is completely out of frustration. Ash Kleins, would a draw here basically guarantee both teams move from the knockout stages? So no, because there was a draw earlier today in this group between South Africa and Czechia. It would be a miracle for it to go that way, but South Africa take on South Korea and Czechia. Oh, here we go. Chance here. Oh my gosh, that should have. Oh, that could have easily been a goal. That could have easily been a goal, but the ball just goes just past the man running on through there, Jong Sok. 4 minutes to go here of added time. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Oh, he just couldn't get his legs to that. So no, Ash, if South Korea lose to South Africa, which is not going to happen, but if South Korea lose to South Africa and Mexico lose to Czechia, which is also not going to happen, then all teams would be on 4, provided this game's a draw here. And then it would come down to win-loss records. Now, what's interesting is that means that South Africa would have the win-loss over Korea, so they would finish above Korea. But yet, but then also, Korea have the win over Czechia. Okay, it comes down to the win-losses. It'd be really confusing. South Korea would have the losing win-loss, but then Czechia would then have beaten South Africa. So Czechia would have beaten South Africa. No, Czechia would have beaten Mexico. Mexico would have beaten South Africa. South Africa would have beaten South Korea, and South Korea beat Czechia. So it would be really, really strange. You would have to go to the goal difference, and then goal difference would just come down to how the games play out next week. Again, though, it's a really unlikely scenario we're talking about here. But in the third game of the group stages, always turns out to be crazy. We know what happens. South Korea's been involved in one of those against Germany a few years back. 2 minutes to go here of added time. That was really confusing to think. Because again, one team who's got the win-loss over another team is underneath another team that would completely counteract that. It's really confusing. Free kick, South Korea. Oh, a bit of a biffo. Look how frustrated they are. Alira is frustrated for Mexico. I'm telling you, Mexico are super frustrated as we speak. Very, very frustrated. A minute and a half left here. I don't think we're going to be seeing a goal before half time. It's all on for the second half. South Korea at the halfway point. They just have not been able to involve, despite all of their possession. They've had more possession. And I did say before the game started that South Korea probably should have more possession in this game. But despite all their possession, they've not involved Heung-min Son at all. And they've really not had too many shots at goal. I think they've had, the 2 shots at goal. That's it. And neither of them on target. Long switch of play, but that's going to go over for a throw into Mexico. It says, which team impressed you the most in the first round of games? See, first round's always a little bit of a lie, so I'm going to be careful when I say this because the first round is just, not a lie, but it can provide to be a falsity. For example, Spain are not to the level of Cape Verde, despite having a draw of 0-0 there. Whilst you've also seen, New Zealand draw with Iran, but New Zealand are not at the same level of Iran. So first games can always be a little bit of a doozy. I would say France probably have looked the best out of the big dogs. Spain were disappointing. You saw Portugal extremely disappointing. Argentina looked good. However, I think that France versus Senegal is a bigger matchup than Argentina versus Algeria. So even though I don't really rate Senegal, I do think that the Senegalese matchup is a lot more difficult for France matchup-wise than it was for Algeria, Argentina. But right now, between the big dogs of the first group stage games would be Argentina and France. And then teams that disappointed would be your Brazils. That's going to be half-time here, guys. 45 minutes gone. It's 0-0. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Mexicans are booing here. Amazing to me. That is football, lads. This is football. New age fans, bro. New age fans are amazing to me. Exactly right, Ash. Last World Cup, Argentina lost to Saudi and went on to win it. Correct. So that's why I don't really read too much into the Spain-Cape Verde result. I still think Spain are going to win this tournament, but it's going to be tough to see that one pan out. But they need to be a lot better than what they've shown. But yeah, right now I'd say Argentina and France have looked the best. England looked decent. They looked decent. I'm worried about their defense, but 4 goals you'd be pretty happy with against Croatia. Brazil disappointing. Morocco were okay. They would dominate the first 20 and they didn't really do anything outside of that first 20. Portugal made me sick. The Netherlands drew with Japan. That was an okay result. Like Japan, I've got as a surprise packet who can go deep. I could see Japan going quarterfinals. I could see Japan going semi. I can't see them winning it, but I could see them going as far as quarters or even semis. I could. I think Japan are a really good nation. It's just that Mitoma. Actually, no, with no Mitoma, I'll go quarters. With no Mitoma, I'll say they could go quarters. Japan. Germany. Who cares? Like, they won 7-1 over Curaçao. Yeah, Curaçao. It was 1-1, but then it ended up being 7-1. It's just not a result that's going to tell us a great deal about Germany, even though I like Germany. Belgium was so disappointing against Egypt, mate. I can't even begin to describe how disappointing they were. Colombia, pretty good win against Uzbekistan, but it was against Uzbekistan. Italy have been extremely disappointing in this tournament, so much so that I haven't even seen them play a game yet. Mexico have been okay. I'm going through the rankings right now. I don't think that Mexico have actually been that great. And the reason I'll say this is that I was pretty hype on them being a surprise pack at this tournament, especially being the home team. I would have expected more against South Africa. It was only 1-0 until the red card, and then from there, they still only scored that one extra goal. I would have liked them to really put the sword past them. Like, for example, Canada versus Qatar, you saw it was 2-0 to Canada, and then once the red card came, it was 4 more goals from there for a 6-0 result for Canada against Qatar today. So I would have liked to have seen that from Mexico against the South Africans, but obviously didn't happen. It ended being 2-0. Clean result, but not an amazing result, and so far they're drawing 0-0 here. Now, I predicted it to be a draw here, but also from Mexican standpoint, they would be believing they should be winning this game. And right now, like if we look at the possession count, the possession is showing that it's 52% here to South Korea, 42% there to Mexico, and then 6% in contest. So they aren't really winning this game at all at the moment. They are actually quite struggling and getting frustrated. You can hear it in the crowd, you can hear it in the fans, you can see it in the players. You go to Croatia. Croatia lost 4-2, so not good defensively, but at least got a couple of goals against England. I don't know I don't like. They just always have ballers, bro. You always expect that they're gonna have a bit of a fall off and they're gonna fall behind. And they're older now, and it's not the same team as before with Croatia, but they just always are here, aren't they? They just always find a way, don't they? Senegal, I feel, are slightly overrated there in 16th, and France put a sword through them. But Senegal, they didn't look great against France. The first half they were pretty good, but the second half they fell away. And then Japan and 2-2 draw against Netherlands 17th. I'm very happy with where Japan are. I'm pretty happy with how the Japanese are looking realistically. But again, with no Mitoma, that hurts them. Uruguay in 18th. Wasn't happy with their result. Yikes. Was not happy with that one with Saudi Arabia. But I did call Saudi Arabia could get a draw there. I did call that. Switzerland, I don't care. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 4-1. I've watched enough of them to be so disappointed in them so far. Obviously, Denmark not at this World Cup. Korea, I've really liked them, to be fair. I think they've been an enjoyable team to watch. Yeah, it's been frustrating today for the Mexicans, but they've been an enjoyable team to watch here today, Korea. And also, mainly more so the Czechia game, I would say. And then Australia, they've obviously surprised and they've been pretty... if you're not an Australian fan, you wouldn't say that Australia have been fun to watch. But as an Australian fan, I absolutely adored the way they played against the Turkish last week. But again, we play the USA tomorrow. Ashes, Aussies are 5.50 tomorrow. The disrespect. Yeah, but it's typical, mate. Like, what did you expect? Like, it doesn't make sense. Australia being 5.50 makes absolutely no sense. Australia are ranked in 23rd. America is ranked in 15th. There's only 8 spots separating the two of them. Why are we such heavy underdogs? Australia went and beat Turkey, who were the favourites to progress through the group, whilst USA, they beat the team on the lowest ranking of the group. Right, who were predicted to come 3rd or 4th, right? And then you've got the fact that when Australia played USA last year in a friendly, it was 2-1 USA, but it was a B team USA versus a C team Australia. It was nowhere near the full strength team for both these teams. I have no idea why it'd be $5.50. I'd be okay if Australia was $3. I'd be okay if they definitely weren't favourites. I can definitely see the Americans should be favourites. But to have us at $5.50 is just stupid. It really is just stupid. Seba says Germany, Ivory Coast, decent game. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, Germany, Ivory Coast will be a nice little spicy one. Does host nation play a part? Yeah, everyone has this massive obsession with being a home team. It happens in every sport in general. At the end of the day, it is just another field in a different place, right? Yes, you've got the atmosphere, and that's all well and good. That's fantastic, unbelievable, yoo-hoo. But it's still, at the end of the day, just another football field in a different area. You know, so I don't regard it as much. Like, for example, now this second half can go a different way, but the first half here, the crowd's been fully behind this Mexican team. They've been so passionate behind this Mexican team. The Mexicans are situated in 13th on the rankings, and Korea is situated in 21st on the rankings, and yet it's 0-0. So I don't really, like, again, the second half can change, but I don't really think it is such a high emphasis in comparison. Brandon says, "G'day, has a stream speed." It's our first stream here today. And then we've got Nice Dragons after this. But the one to be here for, Brandon, tomorrow morning, USA versus Australia. That's the one to be here for. Richard says, as a Kiwi, I can say we are jealous of Oz defense. How can you score against a beach? Well, I think Matty Ryan will play tomorrow. I think they'll give it to Matty Ryan. I think they're going to go to more experienced route, and they're going to mix it up from that first game, even though it was so good, because we cannot play the same way. There's no way we play the same way against the Americans. We need to have more attack in us to go against the Americans, because the Turkish, we knew we had to hit on the counter. We knew they would hold the possession. We knew they were going to have the ball. Whilst the Americans, they have a bit of pace about them, but they are defensively susceptible. They're not that great defensively. And attacking-wise, I don't believe they're as good as Turkey. But with that being said, attacking-wise, they can still punish us. So we need to have a pretty good balance tomorrow of like a 60-40 defense or a 70-30 defense over attack, whilst the Turkey game was 90-10 defense over attack. We need to have more of a 60-40 or a 70-30. Great half of football. Tuggle is at the gym watching. Mate, if you don't have a six-pack by now, tell you what, get into it. Someone says, waking up at 3:30 a.m. to get to the city by 4:30 a.m. tomorrow. Up the roof, son. Even against Paraguay, we are $3.50. You see, that's just stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's good value. Get on Australia then. I do night shift with the young fella. It'll be a struggle to get up there to watch the Aussies. Get a grip of yourself, Brenton, is what I'll say. How about that one? Have a good grip of yourself. You bring the young fella to watch the Australian game with you. You wake him up. I know that's your worst nightmare, but you wake him up and you watch that Australian game. You call yourself an Australian, Brendan? Huh? We're taking on the Yanks. We're taking on the Americans. The biggest game of our group stage. And you're going to sit there and you're going to sleep? And you're going to sleep? How dare you? Huh? How dare you? Grow up, Brendan. Grow up, mate. What do you think this is? Don't care what time it is. Every Australian should be watching the game tomorrow. But this is the thing. Like, I'm taking the piss out of Brenton. But, like, this is the thing why I hate that the American game is on at such a ridiculous time. We had a fantastic time for Turkey at 2 p.m. The 12 p.m. matchup for Paraguay is brilliant. Why is it that the American one was put at the worst time possible? Well, not even... Yeah, it is one of the earliest times possible. It is. It's not the earliest, but it's... I value my sleep. You know what? I value my country, Brenton. And you should value your country too. Buddy, get a 4X into you, get a 4B into you, long neck, and slap it down your throat at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's what you should be doing. Not this. I value my sleep. Gee whiz. I value Aaron Kunda. I value Muhammad Damwell Toure. I value Harry Suter, the big suit dog millionaire. The big suit dog millionaire. That's who I value. Yeah, you don't remember sleep. Exactly right. In 20 years' time, Brenton, what are you going to remember? You're going to remember the sleep that you had, or you're going to remember seeing Aaron Kunda absolutely slap a bicycle past the USA in the 92nd minute to win 10-0? You thought I was going to say by 1 goal, didn't you? No, 10-0. What is more important, your typical night shift or back in your country to win? Do you realise that you've just asked him if his son is more important or backing your country to win? You've just made him choose between his son and watching football. Unbelievable. So I don't get it. It's not even prime time in the States. It makes no sense. It does not make any sense. But it's because they're trying to cater the European audiences and the European games to set up for good European times. Guys, I'm going to quickly run off to the bathroom here just before the second half does start. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to get involved in the chat. Keep punching away in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are for the second half of this game. I'll be back in just a few moments. And that right there is your problem, Brenton. That right there is the problem that I have with you. Oh my gosh. If the Knights were playing in the grand final at that time, it would be a different story. Have some national pride, you cat. Have some national damn well pride. Newcastle Knights, they're a part of Australia. You should be proud of your damn well country. You should be up early in the morning. Oh, and then Ben says, for me, it'll be Adelaide Crows. Get a grip of yourself, the lot of you. Get a grip of yourself, the lot of you. I can promise you that every single person in Buenos Aires and Argentina would be up at 1:33 or 2. No, what's an awful time? 3 a.m. in the morning to watch them win a World Cup. I promise you. Everyone. Every person in Turkey. Every person in damn well the Congo. But no, you won't get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to watch Australia beat the Yanks. Get a grip of yourself. But the second half is about to start here. It's about to start. This is a very, very big game. Whoever wins this will top the group. They will finish in first in this group stage and won't have to really worry about next week's matchup at all. They will not have to really think about it. Next week, you'll see Mexico take on Czechia and South Korea take on South Africa. But yes, you will see whoever wins this game go through top. If they do not, then if it's a draw, it's still pretty much sure. I'm pretty sure that those teams, because of the draw today, I'm pretty certain these two teams will go through. But let's just go and say that Mexico did lose to Czechia, then Czechia would hold the win-loss over them. They would both finish on 4 points, and Mexico would be third and have to hope that they're one of the best qualifiers, which I'm sure they would be. But all right, here we go. Well, the crowd wasn't happy with that first half in Mexico. Let's see if they enjoyed this second half a little bit more. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We are underway. And Mexico, they need to get a bit more possession, man, because right now South Korea are winning the possession game, and that's why you're hearing all the boos. That's why you're hearing all the Mexicans get up in arms, because they are just not holding the ball anywhere near enough, and there's just no real attacking football at the moment from either of these two teams. We saw Mexico put some pressure on early days in this game, but haven't done anything since. Gutierrez now, here's a chance in Mexico. Nope, South Korea will steal that ball in the defense, and now they'll be away. They can counter here. They can counter, but I don't think they're really looking to counter. I think they're looking to frustrate and hold possession and then score. Yeah, see, the boos are already back because South Korea aren't looking to just attack. They're looking to make their pinpoint accuracy play. I think this second half, I don't know how the second half will go. Both these teams could easily be too nervous of losing that we do just end up having a 0-0 draw too now. I originally thought it would be 2-2, but I was expecting some goals in the first half and we didn't see anything, so it's difficult now to see that many goals scored in the second half. However, there was 5 goals scored in the last 15 minutes of that Switzerland versus Bosnia game. There's 5 goals scored in that one, so maybe we see that kind of craziness open up here, but I think both teams are quite tense right now. Both teams are definitely trying to avoid that loss, because a loss would still mean they would have to win next week. They couldn't lose next week. They wouldn't need to win. They just need to not lose, yeah. And South Korea dispossessed them in the midfield, but Mexico will get this ball back. I wonder how long they'll keep Heung-min Song on for as well. I wonder how long they'll keep him on, because they did take him off relatively early last week. And now Mexico play this ball through the middle. And they'll be cleared away again from South Korea. And they can go away here. Here they go. Heung-min Son, too slow there. And it'll come back here into the midfield. They can push this out of the right wing. They've still got space here. But look, there's not many. And that's the thing. You can tell South Korea's game plan here. They're not all rushing up together. They're not looking to... Oh, that's going to go just over the top of the head of the South Korean. Will go for a goal to the goalkeeper. They're not all pushing up in electric attack. They're not looking to put that attacking pressure on. They are looking to hold the possession and get their accuracy about it. They're trying to work their play. They're trying to work it around rather than actually just go all out attack, which I don't mind. But it will create that squeaky bum time for Mexico at the end of this game. Now Mexico are going to bring this back out from their left wing. Here we go. Here's a chance for Mexico. No, Korea. Oh, here's a chance for Mexico. The ball's going to bounce in their favor. Here's a chance. Is that Raul Jimenez? Chance in Mexico. No. Into the side netting. Oh, boy. There was the chance for Mexico. The ball fell their favor. The ball just bounced away for them. Jesus Gallardo. But the angle is, yeah, you have to go across goal. It probably would have been blocked, to be fair. He has to cut back in. You're not getting a goal there, especially going low. Like, he's gone low into the bottom left-hand corner from an awful angle. The defender's right there, and I guess he felt like the need to do that. But you have to try and lift it above that defender into the right side. You have to go open side. Here we go. Here's a good chance again. Quinones will let that ball go over the sideline for a throw-in. Okay, this is what Mexico do, though. They come in their spurts. Pause on that one, but they do have their spurts, and right now it's they're just not able to have that clinical touch about it. This is still very similar to that game against South Africa. Despite the fact that they have a good front three, it's like they don't win the midfield. I think South Korea have very clearly won the midfield here so far today. Yeah, it is very passive at the moment. From South Korea, anyway. But again, that's clearly their tactic, because they're not rushing up forward for the attack. Quinones puts it in. Good ball, good cross. But the keeper will now be able to get out to that one. Oh, no way. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, South Korea. That's insane. Oh, my gosh, it's a goal for Mexico. Oh, South Korea have just coughed that up massively. That is awful there from South Korea. Oh, my goodness me. It's 1-0 Mexico. Viva la Mexico. They will score a goal off of a keeper mistake here. Oh, that's bad, bro. That's bad. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. It's not a foul. He's been fouled by his own play here, essentially. They don't deserve that. No, I don't think that the South Koreans deserve this, but at the end of the day, he was in the right place at the right time for Mexico to make it a 1-0 lead. The ball gets whipped in from Quinones, headed up there from the South Korean defense, and then he just doesn't get out of the way. Oh, that's bad, man. That's bad, 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 bad stuff. 1-0 comes down his own player there. I don't know what the defense is doing by staying in the area. Louis Romo will score for Mexico, but what is the defense of South Korea doing there? Kim Min-jae, once you head that ball up, you've got to get out of the way, mate. No, so that wasn't Kim Min-jae. That was Lee Gi-yuk. Lee Gi-yuk. Gi-yuk Lee. You've got to get out of the way there, man. And now it is 1-0 Mexico, and it's going to be difficult to see, South Korea scoring. They're going to have to attack now. They're going to have to push this one into the attack. What, Brendan? Wait, what? I didn't go over the sideline for a throw-in. 51 minutes gone here. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. 1-0 Mexico. Good news for the Mexican fans, at least. Well, of course, they were very frustrated. They weren't really doing anything. Like, Mexico, they haven't really had anything go their way so far. They've just simply not been that great. And then South Korea give them a lifeline. They give them a free goal. That is a free goal there from South Korea. Mexico can break it down the middle. It's still going to be their ball. They're still here. No, free kick. Offside. All that grind to concede like that. Yeah, brutal stuff. Brutal stuff there, man. But it's good for the game's sake. Like, from our perspective and from people watching this, you're going to get a much more exciting game now because it forces South Korea to attack. That's how they say it. But what are you referring to? Well, I don't know what you're referring to, though. So Mexico, if this stays the same, they will finish in top spot in the group. And South Korea will have to fight their way past South Africa next week. Yeah, I don't know. Like, but I don't know what Brenton's actually referring to. They whip this ball over the top. That should go straight to the keeper. How is South Korea going to score now? Oh, man, you're so pissed off with that. The goal, I'm cheering them on. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the player, and I was like, I can't say that, man. I don't know if that's his nickname, but I cannot say that. It's like Tommy Flegler dropping the ball and Stag scoring. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, that'd be the equivalent, I would say. Yeah, Flegler dropping the ball and Stag scoring in Origin. That goal just then would be the equivalent. Yep. Yep. Garrett says, wait, what happened? Was it a bad... Oh, it was a bad mistake, Garrett. It was a bad mistake. So Quinones for Mexico whips the ball in, and then Giyok Lee heads the ball directly up, and then the keeper, Sung-Young Kim, comes through, obviously to come and get an easy grab. There's no Mexican player around, but Giyok doesn't get out of the way, and then the keeper runs into him, grabs it, falls down, the ball comes out, and then it's just a very, very easy opportunity for Louis Romo to put the ball into the open net because Giyok didn't get out of the way. So essentially he was fouled by his own player, is the way I'll put it. So 55 minutes gone. He was fouled by his own player. Now push his ball to the left wing. Korea playing it out of the back. I'm sure you've got to put a bit more speed into this game now, South Korea. You can't play that same passive style you've been playing before. It was good, but just a brain. But then again, they went 1-0 down against Czechia too. So it's not like they're out of this one. And they went 1-0 down against Czechia in a similar time as well. So it's not like South Korea can't still get back into this game. And that'll be Mexico's ball at the halfway point. And now back to South Korea. Chance here in the middle. Chance. Shoot. Shoot. Bro, take the shot. Oh my gosh. Take the shot. Oh my gosh. Take the shot. Oh my gosh, bro. You have to take that first time. Heung-min Son, you are known for your goal scoring ability. You have to take the shot immediately there. You can't play the ball around. You had an open opportunity. You take the shot as soon as you get the ball. That's way too passive for mine, Heung-min Son. You are the talisman. You are the striker today. You need to be putting that ball on target, not just not getting a shot away. He didn't get a shot away there because he tried to play it around inside the box. Again, much more exciting game in the second half now, however. But the crowd is going to seriously help influence this game now. Oh, a little bit of a confusion at the back here. Does South Korea have the ability to have a good attack, or has their game plan always been slow and patient? No, they definitely do have the ability to have a good attack. Flag up for offside. Well, referee, why didn't you just allow it to play it out? Because the Koreans were on the attack. Anyway. Korea was on the attack. Jeez, this crowd is loud now, however. They were booing loud before, and now they're just loud in general. And that's a free kick. Oh, they really don't deserve to be in the lead, and Korea really don't deserve to be down right now. It really does deserve to be a 0-0 draw as we speak, but there is going to be a substitution here. It's going to be Hwang In... No, sorry, not Hwang In Biom coming out here. So Heung-min Son will come off here for Korea. It makes sense. That was way too passive just now. Seong-yu Oh comes on for Korea. Heung-min Son goes out. Hee-chan Hwang comes on for Jae-sung Lee. I have not been impressed by Heung-min Son at this tournament by any means. The first game was super disappointing, got subbed out early in the second half. This game he's been very disappointing and subbed out early in the second half. He's not the player that he once was at Tottenham. He's not the player that he once was at South Korea. Because I can tell you, a few years ago, I promise you that he would have been taking that shot. Oh, that's under pressure. South Korea, outside the box, has a shot on target. Oh, it's blocked away. And that'll be a free kick. That'll be a yellow card too, maybe. There's about to be a yellow card here for South Korea. Yep. The ain't crowd against South Africa tomorrow. Yeah, we'll know about it, won't we, Brenton? You won't. You won't. Yeah, you better damn well watch that game. Sung-ho Paik gets the yellow card here. Yeah, the Korean number 7 Son closed down, received the ball in the box, and looked set to fire towards goal. He just did nothing at it, eh? He just did absolutely nothing, unfortunately. Actually, did he have many? Did he have any shots on target? Did he have any shots? Hold on. I don't think he had a single shot. Oh, but this isn't going to tell us. I'm not too sure. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. That's right. Guadalajara is where he comes from. 58 minutes gone. Still 1-0 Mexico. And now they'll whack this ball down here to the fifth at the halfway point. Look forward to the highlights when we silence them. Bloody highlights. Have a word to yourself, Brenton. Have a damn well word to yourself. 60 minutes gone here, folks. 1-0 Mexico. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. South Korea in the midfield. They're the ones who are possessing the ball throughout this entirety of the game, but football comes down to moments, and the moment they weren't able to capitalize on before when they get up the goal. Football is all about the moments. And right now, the moment is hurting Korea. And it forces them to beat South Africa next week. No, it forces them to at least draw. Just don't lose to South Africa next week. And I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they won't lose South Africa next week. But still, you don't want to have to rely upon it. Now, Mexico, if they win this game, they have a chance to rest their players if they'd really like. 60 minutes gone. Korea, you've got to get more speed into this game. It's so pedestrian at the moment. Back to the keeper. Some good pressure here, but that's exactly what South Korea want. They want you to force. They want to force you to come out of your defensive zone. Being up 1-0, Mexico are going to be more inclined to just defend in an important game like this. They want to force you out of that defensive capture zone. And then Mexico will clear this one away. But South Korea will get this ball back. And that's a free kick. No, he thought about it, but he's going to let it play out here. Okay. He just wants to let this play go on. Fair enough. They were down 1-0 last week. Don't count them out just yet here, the South Koreans. They did look better once they did make that substitution of Heung-min Son last week. And that is going to be offside here against the Koreans. Offside. Where is he offside? Yeah, he's just offside down there. Good call. That was good work from the Mexicans just to slightly jump in front of him to prevent that one. Not that it was a threatening attack regardless. Frustration from the Korean fans. You can see that in the crowd. Fair enough too, after what we saw. If that was Australia, to be fair, Australia did that in the 2022 World Cup. Australia did that, and that was the reason why we ultimately ended up losing to Argentina in that first week of the round of 16. If you guys didn't watch it, Matty Ryan had a mistake at the back. We ended up losing that game 2-1. One of their goals was completely sweet. But their other goal that ultimately won them the game, that was just brutal to watch as Matty Ryan made a mistake at the back and they scored the goal. Otherwise, we were well on against the Argentinians. We would have been going extra time. We would have had a chance to win it in the 90th minute too. Yes. Why are you putting a question mark the Ryan turnover as if I didn't just explain the Matt Ryan turnover? I just explained the whole situation. 28 minutes left here. I still feel like there's another goal in this game, whether it's a Mexican counter-attack or a Korean goal, I don't know, but I still feel like there'll be another goal in this game. I don't feel like it's going to end 1-0. I think there's still some big moments to come here. Could easily still be like a 2-1 as well. Korea still possessing, still just holding this ball. And this is the point that I need to make in regards to the criticism for Australia and Turkey and saying Turkey were the better team because they possess the ball more. That's not true. Possession does not equate to dominance. Possession does not equate to better team. I would not necessarily say that just because Korea have dominated the ball here today, that they have been the better team by any stretch of the imagination. I think a draw is fine. I think a draw probably makes sense for the most part, but this is a prime example of why possession does not batty alert. Possession does not equate to success and to dominance. You are seeing that right now. Oh, South Korea's got the ball. Oh, he's going to call it for a free kick. That was a chance. That was a chance right there, son. That was a chance. 64 minutes gone. Oh, that was a chance. Got to find a way to get pace into this game. Australia's counter-attacks were great. And that was our strategy. That was our tactic. But we're not going to be ultimately just playing on the counter against the USA. We'll be attacking a lot more too. I would love the Americans to think that we're coming in with the exact same game plan and play to that. Because then they'll be so open at the back. My gosh. And they're already susceptible on defense anyway. Well done there from South Korea. It's going to go over the sideline for a throw-in though. I really hope they come in thinking we're going to play the same way. Because I promise you that Tony Popovich is not going to play the exact same way. It is going to be much less of just a defensive backs against the wall play out. So Mexico now back inside their own half. They've only got 25 minutes to hold out here. They don't care if it's 1-0 or 4-0. Goal difference doesn't really matter for them right now. Doesn't matter at all for them right now. Korea will steal this ball and they'll go over for a throw-in. Goal difference means absolutely jack for them at the moment. If they win, they top the group. Mexico need way more... yeah, Mexico do need serious patience. They just don't need to put this ball up front. And that's going to come away here for South Korean steal at the midway point. No, they're going to get away. No, that's going to go over the sideline, yeah. Damn. I still think you need more substitutions here, South Korea, because this is really bland at the moment. This is not what I would typically see from South Korea. Not what you would typically expect from them. And that should be... No, it's on a free kick. So Mexico, can they make it a 2-0 right now? Can they make it 2-0 right now? Back on the inside, played through, and South Korea clear it away. Well, now it's Mexico's turn to hold this possession. I think 2-0 kills it off. I don't think South Korea come back from 2-0 down. Entirely possible, sure, but I don't think that South Korea come back from 2-0 down. By any stretch of the imagination. And now that'll be a free kick, surely, to Mexico. No, they're going to say it's completely fine. Okay, well, South Korea can come on the counter here. South Korea, they're pushing into this left wing. Here we go. Put the ball in the box. You need more players up in the box. South Korea is super slow. Super slow. Nobody is here right now. They whip it in. Out to the edge. Lee Kae-in. Back out to the wing. Korea in the box. And that will be a throw-in in the end. My gosh. They don't want to take a shot. They don't. It comes back to the Heung-min Son no shot. They don't want to take a shot at goal at the moment. You are down 1-0. You have to shoot. If it blasts over, it blasts over. But take the chance. You are not going to equalize if you don't take a shot. I think that's pretty simply said. 23 minutes left. Throw in for Korea. Oh, no, it's actually going to be... Oh, no, it's going to be a hydration break. Hydration Nation. You know what? I'm going to have a hydration break. Mexico fans doing the hydration break. Everyone's doing it now. Everyone nowadays is doing the hydration break. Too funny, man. Too funny. Oh, there we go. Hopefully we don't miss anything because all these ads that get played, the ads that get played are so annoying, man, because sometimes you miss out on like 20 seconds of football because they're still playing ads. Jeez, just so pedestrian from South Korea. You would surely assume that they want this a lot more than what they're showing as we currently speak. Like they right now, they're not showing like they really want this whatsoever. They're really just playing pedestrian football. They need to want this a lot more, considering how important this damn well game is as we speak. It's so important. You need to want this a whole hell of a lot more than what you're showing as we currently speak. But just to remind you guys, tomorrow we'll be live. USA versus Australia is the first game of the day. Hold on, let me just get this up. So USA Australia is the first game of the day into Scotland, Morocco, Brazil and Haiti, and Turkey and Paraguay. So the two most important games for our Australian viewers here are to watch the first and the last game there. Because Australia versus the USA and Turkey versus Paraguay. If Australia can win and then Turkey win or draw, Australia are guaranteed first in the group. If it's a loss, well, then it's going to get a bit more interesting. If it's a loss to the USA, then gee whiz, it gets interesting for Australia. But the thing is that the USA, they are basically through, unless Paraguay got a win and then drew with Australia next week. Australia beat the USA and Turkey beat the USA. USA would actually, in fact, come last. No. Yes, they would come last. But that really comes down to a miracle for that to even be potential. You would need Paraguay to... Yeah, Paraguay to draw with Turkey. No, I don't think it's possible. Yeah, no, Paraguay to win against Turkey and draw next week against Australia. And then Turkey would need to beat USA. And then, yeah, they would finish last. All right, so a couple of substitutions being made by the Mexicans here. 70 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 1-0 after that mistake from Korea at the back led to the Luis Romo goal in the 50th minute. The substitutions, Orbelin Pineda comes on for Brian Gutierrez. Obed Vargas comes on for the goal scorer Luis Romo. And then for Korea, you've got Ji Sung Yom and Moon Hwan Kim coming... Ji Sung Yom coming on for Moon Hwan Kim. And Hyunjan Yang coming on for Youngwoo Seoul. Youngwoo Seoul, despite his shots being pretty awful here today, at the very least, he was like the only attacking player in that first half. Considering he is a left back, that is pretty astounding. So a big throw in here for Korea. Inside the box, puts it in. No, headed away. It's a good throw in though. Put it in a pretty good area. 19 minutes to go. What on earth is that from South Korea? It's just so lazy. Why'd you just try to boot that ball? It goes directly up and over the sideline. Sung Hyo, that was poor. And you put your own team back under pressure here. Right now, though, you're looking back at that first game and saying, well, shit, South Korea were very close to have been basically knocked out. If they couldn't find those two saviour goals after Czechia led 1-0, if they couldn't find the way through them there and Czechia held out for that 1-0 victory, which they didn't, Korea would have been essentially done by this point. Dasmate says, no way the Yanks don't win this. They have the LeBron of football, Christian Pulisic. Yeah, we got Aaron Gunda, mate. You just got Aaron Gunded. You just got Aaron Gunded, Dasmate. You just got Aaron damn well Gunded. If he scores the winning goal tomorrow, I think the whole of Australia might just... No one will wear shirts. No one will wear shirts for the entire weekend. I think it'll be illegal to wear a shirt on the weekend if Evan Kunda scores like a 90th minute winner. Deary me. The place would go off. Everyone would wake up to havoc. You know, all the people who don't watch football, they'd wake up to absolute chaos in the streets of Australia. If Evan Kunda scored a goal in the 90th minute to win that game against the US. Boy, oh boy. 18 minutes left. And that's going to be punched away here back into the Mexicans in the midfield. They can... Oh, South Korea, you're still playing defensively here. This is sad. This is sad. You have to play attacking-wise here. Why have they got so many men behind the ball at the moment? Why are you still playing so many men behind the ball? You are losing 1-0. You are not winning 1-0. You are not drawing 1-1. You are losing 1-0. Why, in such a crucial game in the group... Oh, why is he pretending like he's really hurt here on his chest? That's pretty sad. But I don't understand the Korean game plan right now. You are losing. Why are you not trying to win this game? Why have you got so many men back in defense? I don't understand it. Mexico with the ball down this left wing. Oh, boy, it's gone right through the legs there. But then that'll be cleared from the South Koreans. Hyungin, he's struggling to get to his feet now. Tasman says parking the bus 1-0 is crazy. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't make sense what South Korea is doing here. Try to win the game. Try to steal the game right now. As we currently speak, they are just putting the pressure onto themselves. And Mexico are going to be away here. Vargas down the left wing. And that's going to be too hard for a goal kick. Now speed it up, South Korea. Get some speed in. We have seen some 90th minute goals in this World Cup so far, though. 15 minutes left. And they whack this ball down the center, and it's going to go straight here to Mexico. And now they can go back onto the attack. Oh, man. Oh, good ball in there. Here's a chance. Could be the end of it. Great save by the keeper. He's just saved their World Cup. The keeper has just saved their World Cup. Song Yo Kim has just saved the World Cup there for Korea. That should... I thought Raul Jimenez was going to score for sure there. It's a good ball across. Tough angle, though. Very tough angle. But he still has to put his arms up to block that one away. And Raul Jimenez, he keeps himself big there, the keeper. If he had have lifted a little bit higher, he may have had a chance to get that one. But Korea just aren't showing any energy. Okay, they've got the ball here. Show the energy. Get some speed into it. Go to the left wing right now. No, they go back to the midfield. Goal difference really doesn't matter here, Korea. It really doesn't matter. Chance over the top with the ball in. Oh, that was there. That was there. That was right there. He's offside. Oh, that's... I don't know if it was the man who had the opportunity was offside or if it was on the left wing. Yeah, he's just offsides. It would have come back for a no goal had he scored it. Oh, why did he go with the right foot there and not the left foot? The ball was coming to the outside. Why would he go for the inside foot there? Why would he go for the inside foot? Either way, though, it would have been offsides. It doesn't really matter. Now they're showing that Raul Jimenez shot again. At least this game opened up a little bit for Korea just then. Protein and me playing football. What? Using your wrong foot to take a shot and completely missing the ball. 14 minutes left here. We're going to see Sung Ho. It's his second World Cup. I don't think he was unbelievable today. Gusong Cho will come on for Sung Ho Paik. 13 minutes left. Does anyone here get into the comment section? Does anybody think South Korea can find a way to equalize here? I'm a Dogs fan. Don't know the difference between left and right. That is a great point. Yeah, and you would struggle to count to 2 because you don't usually get that many points. It's a lot of points for a Dogs fan. And Mexico will get this ball. No. Yes, still their ball in the attack. Quinones. Lira, and then Korea can break this one away. Okay, get some spice into it. Get some spice into it. Here we go. This is a bit of spice. This is a bit of spice. Korea on the counter. They're going quickly. They're going quickly. Just outside the box. Korea don't have the numbers. Look at them. They don't have the numbers in the box. It's like they're up 1-0 right now. They take a shot and it goes over the bar. At least you're taking a shot. Get some men in the box, man. Get some players up and attacking the ball. It's annoying me. I'm not a South Korean fan. Get some players attacking the damn ball. They had players. They had a counter. One player was in the box and everyone else was just jogging slowly to get up there. The manager for South Korea right now has to come and say, move up, baddie alert, but has to move up in attack. A loss here means you still have to play for your life next week against South Africa, even though you should win that game. 11 minutes left here. Up through the middle. South Korea. Oh my gosh, their player wasn't even watching. He was past the ball and they weren't even watching, and then Mexico just passed his ball out the back. He was not even watching, man. Come on, broski. There is still time, though. There is still time. 80 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. The next game we'll be live for is America versus Australia tomorrow morning. Moses, let's go Mexico. Well, they've gotten very, very lucky here. Obviously, the goal that they scored was off an incredible mistake from the goalkeeper in defense of South Korea, where the defender essentially fouled his own player, fouled his own goalkeeper, sorry. But, you know, winners make their own luck. Yeah, no enemy, esposa. He's Mexican. Well, not Mexican's not really the language, but sure. So 80 minutes gone here. Raul Jimenez comes off. They've got very lucky here, but they'll take the lucky win. They will take it. Jimenez and Alvarado come off. And then Jimenez and Reyes will come on. That's as far as my Spanish concerned. You got a bit of por favor in ya. You got a little bit of por favor. I got a little bit of no hablas inglesa. No habla español. A little habla español. A little habla español. All right, Korea set the ball in the middle. Here we go. There's a break opportunity, and it's going to come away again. What? No habla español means like no speak Spanish. No habla inglés. Like no understand. Like no speaking English. No habla. It's like no speaking. And that'll be back to the keeper here for South Korea. Pass the ball away quickly. 9 minutes left. And por favor means go Titans, Mo. So whenever you hear that when you're in Mexico, whenever you hear those words, por favor, it means go Titans in Spanish. Lockie says, let's go Mexico, so happy. What are you Mexican, Lockie? Are you Mexican? Why are you so happy? Are you Mexican, are you? 8.5 minutes left. They'll take the win. They will take the win till the cows come home here, the Mexicans. They'll be very grateful for the mistake at the back because they didn't do it through kind of earned play. Well, at the end of the day, it was in the right place at the right time, but South Korea are going to be spewing because they've held most of the possession and but they haven't had any opportunities with it. They've done nothing with their possession. Whilst Mexico have done nothing with the possession that they've had, but South Korea coughed it up themselves and gave the free goal there to the Mexicans. It's going to go over the sideline. Can we see some late drama here in this second game of the World Cup? Second game of this group stage in the World Cup. I just don't know if South Korea have it in them. They've had a couple of late little chances. Yes, I'm Mexican, just growing up in Australia. And I was like, well, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, this is the important win in your group stage. You don't care how you get it. Again, lucky is never the word. You took advantage of a very beneficial situation, which is going to work out in your favor in the long run, provided you can hold out this next 7 minutes plus probably about 5 minutes at a time. At the end of the day, Mexico deserve it based on the fact that South Korea did it themselves. They did it to them themselves. Yeah, that's going to be a free kick here to Mexico. Foul on Jimenez. So Quinones will come out. Julian Quinones comes out for Huerta. Huerta making his World Cup debut. Cesar Huerta. He is from Guadalajara. He is the last substitution to be made by Mexico. He plays for Anderlecht. Okay. It's a big club. Cesar Huerta. Dude, look how slow this is from South Korea, man. You are down 1-0, broski. Bro Mundo, Bro Munda, Broseph, Broski. You're down 1-0. Why are you playing so slow? A Guadalajara native. Love to see it from my hometown. Oh, my goodness me. You didn't even know Guadalajara until I mentioned it a couple of years ago, Daz. I'm sure you hadn't even heard of Guadalajara until I mentioned to you a couple of damn well years ago when I said that if the Titans lose, I'd move to Guadalajara. 5 minutes to go here of the game. 1-0 Mexico. Mexico, Mexico. Andale, andale, Mexico. Korea Republic have not had a shot on target. Just think about all the possession they've had here today. They've not had a single shot on target. The keeper has not had to do quite literally anything. What will be very beneficial? Oh, that would have been... That's an amazing save. That is an amazing save from the Korean keeper. That should have been it. He's had some huge shot. He's had some huge saves here today, Sung-Yul Kim. That is an excellent save. And he was able to keep it in the field of play as well. Vargas had the shot. It will go down on target. Did so. You did not. You probably couldn't even point out Mexico on a map. That would have been game. Yeah, 100%. But there was another save that he made before that was of a similar level. And this is going to be Mexican ball. Don't make the mistake. Oh, they nearly made a little bit of a mistake themselves there in their own back line. And now Mexico are going to break down the left-hand side. No, it will be Korea who get this ball back. 4 minutes left here to save your bacon here, Korea. Tiger says Mexico is above India. That's about enough out of you, mate. That's probably about enough comments that I've seen out of you for the day. Mexico is above India. That's probably just about enough of this YouTube chat for one day. Geographically speaking, obviously nowhere close. And also FIFA World Rankings-wise, obviously nowhere close. I'd probably say they're closer geographically than they are in the FIFA World Rankings. Mexico and India are probably closer geographically than they are in the rankings. I cannot believe South Korea have not had a shot on target this game considering how much ball they've had. This is why possession does not equate to dominance. Down here, left wing, inside the box! Oh my gosh, it's a goal! It's a goal! I don't know if it's a goal. No, it's not a goal. Oh, it's been saved on the line. Oh my gosh. How has that not gone in? I thought that was in from South Korea. I was actually celebrating a goal. It's been saved on the line. That's actually insane. Oh my gosh, everyone is just... You can see the Koreans right now are just in pure shock. Whipped in beautifully, headed down. Great save from the keeper. Great second save from the keeper. That 1,000,000% should have been a goal. Korea have just been jibbed on the line twice. And that's not the first time today too, because... Actually, to be fair, that's not true in regards to them not having a shot on goal here today, because Heung-min Son got cleared off of the line before from a shot, so that's not true at all. So I can't believe they haven't scored there. I mean, after that, what more can you do? Well, now the Mexican keeper is just taking a little bit of time here. How did that not go in the back of the damn well net? How did that not go in? Tread said it's over. Everyone was saying over 2.5 goals. Well, the thing is, I was even saying that too, to be fair, Tread. Like, I was thinking that the last time these two teams played each other, oh, what a save there from the keeper. That was showing that other shot that was just a bomber into that bottom right corner. The last time these two teams played each other was 2-2 back late last year in Mexico too, mind you. And Korea are more of an attacking side, which we have not seen here today. Mexico have a pretty good, strong front three. We saw, Czechia get that goal against South Korea last week. I felt like this should have definitely been, I don't bet, but I felt like this probably definitely should have been one of those games. But the reason why it's going to go under here is because South Korea have been so passive. They've been more so playing for a draw than for a win. And unfortunately, they're going to get hit by their own mistake because this game could have easily been 0-0. So it's 1-0, but it could have easily been 0-0. If we hadn't have seen that mistake, it would have been 0-0. You know what I mean? So, it's interesting here, man, because it definitely doesn't align with what you would have expected pre-game. But because of the severity and the height of what this game represents for this group, you've seen both teams come in here playing quite cagey football. And it's just the Mexicans have gotten super lucky with a goal from a mistake from the Koreans. 1 minute to go here of regulation time. It's going to be a throw-in here for South Korea. That might have been the last big chance. Like, Korea probably still get one more chance here, but that might have been the last big chance. That'll be headed down here. Then punched away. South Korea. That's going to be Mexican ball. Mexican ball. And it'll be a free kick coming up to Mexico. 90 minutes gone here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Our next stream will be for the USA versus Australia tomorrow, which is going to be a massive stream. We'll have a lot of people here for it, so get ready for that. But it is 90 minutes gone, 1-0 Mexico. Luis Roma with the goal. 6 added minutes here for South Korea to try and save themselves. But if Mexico can win, they will officially top the group stage. Mexico down this left wing. Still Mexican ball. No, that's going to be South Korean throw-in. Having to play with a sense of urgency. They've had to play with a sense of urgency for 45 minutes, but they haven't done it. They have not had any urgency in this game here, Korea. They're going to need to play way better against South Africa because they've had no sense of urgency. 6 minutes is still a long time in football. Mate, 6 minutes you can score 3 goals. It's not happening, but like 6 minutes you can score 3 goals. It's a long time. Korea ball. Korea ball in the attacking half. They whip this ball out here to the wing. Can they get the dramatic equaliser? And Korea put this ball in the box. That's going to be out for a corner. Corner. Coming up for Korea. Corner. This would break the hearts of an entire nation if Mexico concede here. Corner from the left wing in Guadalajara. It's a big chance. Is this their final chance of the game? Like, is this that big opportunity that always happens? They whip it in. Good ball in. Headed down. That's the chance. That's the chance right now. A free header in the middle of the box and he doesn't put it on target. That tells you everything you need to know about Korea today. That right there summarizes what we've seen here from Korea today. They've had the possession. They've had the ball. They've had the ability to put chances in. They haven't been clinical with it. They haven't had any shots on target, really, besides those last couple of opportunities. And that right there is the game. You always get that one final big-time chance. That right there should be the game. Can they still score? Sure, but it's unlikely. 4 minutes left to add time. Throw-in coming up for South Korea in their own defensive half. Got to be quick here. 3:30 to go. South Korea got some space. Pushing forward down this left wing. Cut back into the middle. Here we go. Is there drama left right now? No. Great defense from Mexico, and they get it away. They're going to play it out slowly. That's risky. Lucky he just gets away late. South Korea out the ball. 4 minutes. No, 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go here. Had to do way better with a free header in the middle of the box just now. South Korea on the edge of their seats right now watching this. Good ball in, good ball in! Oh, it's a corner. I think that was a goal for South Korea if that wasn't headed away from the Mexican defense. It's a corner. That was an amazing ball in. I think that's going bottom right corner. I don't know if the keeper would have got down to that quick enough. I don't know if the keeper would have got down to that. That was a great chance there for Korea. They've got another corner here. 2.5 minutes left. For Lee and for Korea in the corner. And he will blow the whistle. The referee is going to say settle it down a little bit. It's getting really argy-bargy in that box at the moment. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go here. Korea had a good ball in the box before. You got a good ball in again. Head it down. And that'll be cleared away from Mexico. They'll have to restart it away. They're going to boot it as far as possible. South Korea, you just need to keep every single player down there in the attack right now. You need to keep every player down there. You haven't done jack attacking-wise until the last 5-10 minutes here. 1:50 left. South Korea play back to the keeper. You got to be quick. 1:40 to go. Look, why is there 5 players still in the defensive half for South Korea? It's mind-baffling, man. It's baffling. South Korea will head this ball down, down the left wing. How have you still got players back right now? Push forward, and Mexico's going to head this ball. It's going to be South Korea ball at the halfway point. 1:15 to go here. No ball is helping them out. No way. Again, loft it forward. Still South Korean ball, however. And that's going to be cleared away from Mexico. 1 minute to go here out of time, but it's still in the attacking half. Get everyone up into the box area. Giving up a goal here. Your goal difference does not matter. It does not matter right now. You just need to go for the goal, South Korea. They're going to throw. They're going to drive this ball up. They're going to try and get a throw-in goal here. Thrown in and put inside the box. Cleared away from Mexico. Still 30 seconds to go here. South Korea ball. Push down the right. No, they're going to go back out to the left, I think. They whip this ball over the top. Keeper's going to come out here. Risky. Wow, that is risky. That was very risky. South Korea still have the ball. Oh, they're going to be away here, Mexico. This could be it. 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 Have a shot. Have a shot. No. 10 seconds left. Can they get there quick enough? No, that's a corner. That's a corner, and that should be the game right there. That should be the game right there. Well, it was an exciting last 10 to 15 minutes here. But there's the game. It's over. And Mexico, look at all the people throwing their beers up in the air. They're celebrating like crazy. Mexico have officially topped the group. They've topped the group of Group A. They will be finishing in first, and that will come down to Korea's game next week against South Africa to see if they can go through in second, or if Mexico don't play a full strength team and Czechia can get a surprising victory against Mexico, then we could, and then South Korea and South Africa. Anyway, long story short, next week it's going to be interesting. Luke Hopkins says bad luck, Korea. Well, they're the ones who made the mistake. You know, at the end of the day, this game ends 1-0 because of their own defender not getting out of the way of their own keeper. Their own defender interrupted and essentially fouled his own keeper. That's the only reason for the goal here. Other than that, South Korea, they held the ball. They were frustrating Mexico. Mexico didn't score a goal from their own worked-up, delivered play. So, yeah, look, it wasn't a fantastic performance there from Mexico, but they will take the win every single day of the week, and they will move on knowing that they are going to be first place in Group A. But that's going to do us here for today, guys. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We will see you live in a couple of hours' time for some NRL action. But tomorrow morning, you want to be here. America taking on the Australians in a massive game there for that group. And we've also got Brazil versus Haiti, Morocco taking on Scotland, and also Paraguay against Turkey. So, like I said, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you a little bit later on. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.